What is up, you all? This is Austin Pegram here, host of the Fitness That Fits You podcast. Okay, coming to you today with another reminder, obviously, to be good to yourself. Okay, we will be opening every single podcast episode with this reminder, no matter what, because it is very important. Self-care is very important. Okay, I have with me today another sponsor for the Louisville Women's Wellness Retreat coming April 24th through the 25th here. Curtis with BAREfit Adventure Training. Curtis, give us a more formal introduction, man. I'm very happy to have you on the show.
Hey, happy to be here and stoked to be part of the event that we have coming up here. Yeah. So, like Austin said, I'm the co-founder of BAREfit Adventure Training. We are a small group training gym based all around outdoor adventure sports, working with people that want to get better specifically at outdoor adventure sports or looking for a more holistic exercise experience that is possibly a little more playful than a standard lifting gym or a boot camp or whatnot.
Nice, man.
Yeah.
So when I and obviously I've kind of talked to you about it on a very brief in a very brief way, but when I actually became a member, and it was for a brief moment, I think my partner and I were looking for something different, and so we found BAREfit through some friends of ours, Melissa Ript and Brittany Cook. And they're mutual friends, actually, with Curtis. But they told us all about BAREfit, and that's actually where they met. So, we thought we have to go and try it out. And when we went, it was an absolute blast, man. It's one of those situations where you don't always give feedback to the owners and the people running it, but it was absolutely a wonderful time and one of the better experiences in terms of training and playful movement and things like that I can say that I've had. So hats off to you all for what you put together.
Yeah, thanks a lot. That means a lot. I always like to hear feedback from other people in the other professionals in the fitness business.
Very nice, man. So I'd like to know, I think people can kind of get an idea of, when they hear BAREfit Adventure Training, I'm sure that there are tons of assumptions that roll through people's minds, but I'd like to get an idea of how you all came to the concept. Where did the inspiration come from? When I first got there, you had everything from your barbell that you would need for foundational strength training to monkey bars to ropes, and I'm just very curious as to how you came to that that mindset. Where you had a fire one day and you just thought we should take this and our love for play and just make it into this space for everyone to come to. I'm so curious about it.
Yeah, so myself and my co-founder Rob Ratcher, we actually connected back in 2010.
Okay.
And we were kind of running in similar crews, and at that time he was working for some more standard gyms, just running their doing sales and stuff with some more standard gyms, and I was kind of in a floating sort of period, figuring out what I wanted to do next. And from that friendship, we started talking about opening up more of a personal trainer or group training studio. His thing, Rob's a vegan, so he's okay, he wanted to open up a gym that promoted plant-based nutrition.
Okay.
And then
wow.
Yeah, and then where I was coming from, I was very interested in it. And then as far as the training goes, I was very interested in training specifically for, being more durable, more capable in outdoor adventure sports. And then also almost kind of experimenting to see if I could build a gym around all around all like upcycled equipment. So
Okay.
like our first gym that we had was literally like, I don't think we even had a barbell. There is all like tires and tree stumps and just random crap I found laying on the road, laying on the side of the road, and built like custom build all this stuff. We even had a dude named Keith who worked at a metal shop, and he would just build us sleds and stuff. We actually still have those sleds that he built for us back in like 2013 or so.
Okay.
So yeah, and so from there, like, it's really just like, whenever you do anything for close to 10 years, we also started off in like a small space out of J-Town. So, and then like, yeah. Then when you do, anything for almost 10 years or so, you kind of find what works, what doesn't. We definitely use some more like quote unquote real equipment now, just because, just because we find that, it's fun to like have a bunch of logs that you use for barbells, but but not everyone can lift a log, can use a log for a barbell. So it's just kind of finding out what works, what doesn't, what was just kind of a cool idea, and what is like actually makes for like practical and applicable training programs.
Yeah.
And then and kind of our biggest like probably a couple years in, our biggest sort of thing that we came about that's like really stuck with us for a long time is our sequencing that we do our workouts in. So we have our push, pull, and win days.
Okay.
And that's probably kind of like the biggest sort of programming that stuck with us for the longest time. So if you're familiar with lifting at all, like you're probably familiar with the concept of like push and pull workouts.
Right.
Yeah, so
I
like
definitely remember those WIM days also. They were tough.
Push and pull days are a little more of a standard circuit training base, but we still definitely incorporate a lot of natural movement and play elements into it. But yeah, like you said, Austin, the WIM days are definitely our signature workout, where we set up an obstacle course in the gym. It changes every week. Honestly, like that's probably my favorite. I love building things and just like creating stuff. And so like my favorite thing, pretty much every Thursday night after I get done coaching on Thursday night, is I, open a beer and set up the course for the next day, and just like, and figure and like, build it like, I'll start off, okay, we want to do this as our main obstacle, and then I'll just build it from there, like fresh each week.
Wow, man.
Yeah.
That takes a ton of, that obviously on a whim, you've got the information, and like the vision of how you want that workout to look. But it definitely takes a ton of creativity, like to be able to do that. Whenever I was there, I would think about like the Spartan races,
Right.
like kind of like rugged maniac type of things. And like I always thought those were like very fun, just because they had the implementation of like your cardio and your strength training and just your obstacles and, stuff like that, primitive movements, or primal movements, rather, animal-based movements. And like, you all had that everything in like one class. And I think that was really cool, especially when we got to like I remember there being like a ton of like mobility focus, but not just like being mobile, but like having strength, with that mobility as well. And it was really awesome to like that you all had that programmed in, because typically people do that on active recovery days or,
right.
Before the workouts, or they don't designate that, that workout, that focus that they're supposed to. And the focus was there. And I've always been like very appreciative of the culture you all create because of that. So,
because so much of what that comes from being durable and capable. It's one of those, like, my biggest goal as a coach, as a trainer, like, is for my members is for my clients to be durable.
Yeah.
Because like you can be like, and that's really like one of the main goals of our gym. So, because, if you're durable, if you're resilient, if you're capable, then you can go and you can do the things that you enjoy longer, for a longer time. Like, because like there's so many athletes that are in so many gyms that train people to be strong, but they're fragile. Like, they're like one like lazy Russian twist away from throwing their back out kind of thing. And
yeah, man, absolutely.
And so it's like, and that's where like our focus on mobility and like and a holistic view of the body of like everything being connected. Like, we're where you're, focusing on like hip engagement, shoulder blade activation, all that sort of fun stuff that, is really the building block of being building block being a fit human beyond just, getting like bigger quads or whatever.
Heck yeah, man. So longevity and sustainability is what I'm hearing. And I think that's freaking awesome.
Yeah.
And that's like, it's so many places nowadays, and it's not always the location's fault, but I do feel like that, people in general, there's so much influence on losing weight and getting jacked, if you will, and all of that. And so, there's never this influence from people other than people like BAREfit, or if you're following, various like movement culture, pages online that are putting that emphasis on moving well and being durable. Like you just don't see it often. So I definitely think BAREfit is like a single entity that, like a one-time thing that like no one else is doing, not one time, but like something no one else is doing in Louisville, and I just think that's really awesome, which is why we have BAREfit on the show today and why we've asked them to be a sponsor here in the upcoming retreat, you all, because there will be a time where we are playing. That's right, playing as adults. And obviously Curtis is going to he's going to advocate for play no matter your age. So we will be playing, and that is something I'm very much looking forward to. Curtis, I wanted to kind of ask you, with you all being, a business here in Louisville, Kentucky, and obviously, every business, if they're not like some big corporation that somehow become $1 billion richer, in the last year or so, has had to really fight to kind of, stay alive or continue to flourish, if you will, in the way that they were before the pandemic. So, that's also something I wanted to kind of talk about here, just in the way of leadership and the impact you've had on the community. Like, what's it been like as a small business, just to bring awareness there to be able to, keep BAREfit running? Because just from what you've said, it sounds like BAREfit obviously is going to be reliant on the people, the participants coming to you. Right. And while you can create programs and stuff, it takes people to like actually go to the wilderness and be able to do those or have the equipment and stuff like that. So I've actually been very curious about how you all have been able to stay so strong and continue to make the impact you do in the community. If you're okay with it, I'd like for you to share.
Oh yeah, totally. I think, the two biggest things are like just being flexible. I think, talking about kind of that, the creativity that we put in, that, I put into like whenever I'm coming up with like the obstacle course each week, like, being, being flexible. Cause I remember, it was about a year ago when we had like, when we had the full lockdown shutdown order, and we had to, and it's like, okay, we either need to like shut our doors or figure something else out. So like, we pivoted to a full online schedule and like to a fully online programming and like over like a 24-hour period. So, and then, so we like went from that to that. And then like, we added in, started working out in the park, and then started working out in the park, and then we eventually got back into the gym, with six people, 6-person classes, like reduced capacity, making sure everyone's wearing masks, like everyone has decent amount apart. We're not sharing equipment, all those considerations. So I think it's like just being willing to, adapt and to go with the flow, but it's like, this is our situation. Let's do the best we can with it. And I think that's kind of always been how we've run our business, because
I love it.
So, and I think that's number one. I think number two is really our community, our members that stuck with us, forever. We have so many people that stuck with us because they're like, okay, we really we love this gym. We like this thing. It's not what we it's not our favorite version of the gym right now, but
right.
It's getting back to what it's like. They're doing the best that they can, and we wanted to keep supporting these guys, and that's been huge.
Right.
So, and I think like here recently we've been able to reintroduce a lot of our more fun, kind of elements, like our sort of strongman, like tire flipping, sled pushing, sort of elements back into the workouts in a safe way, which has been awesome. And so not with the better weather, we're able to have the doors open and, do stuff outside in our parking lot, which has been great. So yeah, no, I think that's really the biggest things, just being able to adapt, and just having built up a community that we really cared about, and that cared about us.
Nice. I mean, I hats off to you all again, man. I think that especially for this upcoming event, that fits in perfectly, right? Because we, in addition to just trying to create an experience for the women in attendance, we also want to put them in a space where they can build this separate community from their everyday, community that they have. Hopefully people come out of this with new friendships or new groups, to follow, or new memberships with different trainers / gym, new nutritional program or what have you. So it'll be great that we have people like you all who are so community driven at a community-driven event, So, man, I can't stress enough how excited I am. That's why I keep saying it.
It's gonna be a blast. I'm really stoked. It's gonna be good.
Yeah,
stuff.
man.
Yeah,
awesome. Well, very cool, Curry. So, what I'd like to do is just kind of, I want the people to know, where they can find you, obviously. But do you have anything in the way of advice, if you will, for just movement in general, playing, the importance of moving well, etc., for the people, before we kind of let them know where they can find you?
Yeah, no, I think some of the, the biggest thing for a bunch of our members, and even for myself, is really comes down to finding movement that you enjoy.
Yeah.
And finding movement that you enjoy, doing that. And then as you do that movement more, your body will tell you what it needs. So for example, I've been cycling a lot more recently. I actually got back from about a 35-mile bike ride right before I hopped on. And so it's I've been working up my mileage and everything, and I'm finding out, my lower back's starting to get a little sore as I'm riding. I need to I need to do some more stretch. I need to stretch, do some more lower back mobility. I need to open my hips up more, in my personal training and stuff. So
okay.
So I think finding that thing that you enjoy, because it's you're not going to do, you're not going to do exercise that you don't enjoy. If you don't enjoy something, you're not going to do, you're going to be much less likely to do it. So kind of finding that thing that you do enjoy, and then participate in movements that are going to help you enjoy it more. And, that's always kind of been my secret evil plan for BAREfit is to make everyone more outdoorsy. is to train everyone in a way that makes them better at being able to go and do stuff outside. So they then go and do stuff outside.
That's right. I love it, man. I'd say if there's ever any advice for people to get going and just get moving, that would be the advice, especially on this day. It's like really nice out.
Oh, it's beautiful. Tomorrow's going to be even better. It's going to be like mid-70s tomorrow.
Yeah. Like you got to get out and take advantage.
It's going to be real nice. Yeah.
Yeah. Well done. But yeah, it's funny you mentioned the biking. I've been seeing you around town, and I mean, it's only been a couple times, but I've seen you on your bike quite a bit, and I've seen you online too with all the, the mobility work you do. You are one capable person, sir. So whatever you're doing, just keep that up. But yeah, man. So tell us, where can we find you? If we want to become a part of that BAREfit community, before obviously they get to experience you all on the retreat. If somebody wanted to become a part of that community before then or after that, where can people find you online?
Yeah, so just like everyone else, like Facebook is essentially our, is essentially our business card website and everything else at this point. So we have our main just kind of page, BAREfit.life page on Facebook, and then we also have our 502 Fit for Adventure group. Okay. That's on Facebook, and that's essentially our outdoor fitness community group. That's nice. For anyone that's interested in, playing outside and being more fit while doing that. That's essentially our community group for that. So it's a mix of current members, past members, people that just think we're cool and want to kind of be part of the community, even if they're not part of the gym. So
I love it. So that's a public group then.
Yes, it's a public group. Yeah.
Cool. Very cool.
Yeah. So it's like 502 Fit for Adventure. And then we also have our Instagram, barefit.life on Instagram, where we post our workout videos and me swinging around on stuff and little previews of what we're doing and everything like that. And then, of course, our website. I don't know if people even use websites these days, actual websites these days, but it's barefit.life.com.
Nice. So, nice. Yeah, I can tell you all.
Go ahead. BARE fit, not bear, not as opposed like barefoot as opposed to the animal bear.
There would have been people to look for the animal bear, absolutely, because they're your adventure training, so they would have thought the animal bear.
No, I have a long term t-shirt proposal in which it's a bear, essentially it's a bear lifting a tire, and it's a bear lifting a tire, and it says BAREfit, but the AR is scratched out and replaced with EAR.
Let's go. You all let me know when you have that.
Yeah, I definitely hope to make. I kind of wanted to make it him lifting a human, he's about to eat a human, but I figure that might be a little too morbid for a.
Maybe just a tad, but I'll tell you what, I'd wear it either way. You all let me know when you get that shirt.
Yeah, no, hopefully, we did a couple SketchUp designs of it, so we need to actually make it happen here soon. So
nice. Well, I can tell you all as well that Curtis will absolutely show you the most fun and adventurous way to go from one side of the room to the other to get your cup of coffee. I watched that video not too long ago, man. I was like,
Oh
That's
yeah,
pretty cool. Like if
yeah. That's
only
our most.
we could go do that, you know.
Yeah, and then we've been playing around on TikTok a little bit, and most of the TikTok is me rolling around to get to my coffee.
Man, I thought that if you're gonna bring people to the table, like when I was watching it, if you're gonna bring people to your community, like that's a great way to freaking do it. So
Right.
thanks for being as creative as you are, sir. Um, well, you also know where you can find BAREfit. Go online, definitely look them up if you're looking for that community. Not just to find something different than your standard, strengthening gym, etc. But if you're looking to find and believes in sustainability and being durable so that you can do the things that you love to do for longer, BAREfit is going to be a great place for you to do that. Okay. Do not forget the registration is open. We have that link here in the description of this podcast as well. Be sure to check online, social media for the promotion / announcement of BAREfit as a sponsor as well. You're going to want to look for that on BAREfit's page, as I'm sure they'll share it, and you're going to want to look for that on my page at austinftfy, austinftfy. This is Instagram that I'm referring to, as well as Facebook. Okay. So be looking out for that so you can get all the information on BAREfit and what they're doing and how you can find them. One more time, that event, the Louisville Women's Wellness Retreat, is in April 24th through the 25th. Expect BAREfit to be leading the charge on the play, you all. Okay, very, very exciting. All right. If you have any questions about the event, obviously you can reach out to any of the sponsors or myself and or Holly Cropper, my partner in this. Okay. We'll have all of that information here in the description as well. As a reminder, you all be good to yourself. If you're listening to this at nighttime, I hope you have a great rest of your evening and sleep well. If you're listening to this first thing in the morning, have a great rest of your day and happy morning to you. Thanks, you all.